Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back for the very, very end. It's sad, but it is now officially in the history books. The volleyball tournaments at the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. It is over. It is the very last day of the Olympics. It is Sunday, August 11th. My name is Rob St. Clair, live from Chicago in the United States. That is Everett DeLorme, live from Toronto in Canada. It's over, Everett. The volleyball tournaments at the Olympic Games are in the history books.
Finito.
And speaking of history,
Ooh.
congratulations to Italy. Congratulations to Italy on an absolutely dominant performance in both the gold medal match and the entire Olympic Games. Everett, Italy lost their second set of the entire tournament.
And that's it.
24-26 of the Dominican Republic,
and
never again the rest of the way.
No. They're like, no. We don't want to do that again. That put a bad taste in our mouth. We want to eat good Italian food the rest of the way, and that's what they did. They were dominant. Rob, yesterday France was perfect. Today Italy was dominant, and not only today, throughout the entire
tournament
of this tournament. And
Think about the teams that they had to beat to even get
that's
here.
exactly what I was just about to say.
Serbia, Turkey, like, come on.
You had to beat last time's bronze medalists and a team that won the VNL this year, the two-time defending world champions, and capping it all off with the defending Olympic champions as well in the United States in the finals. It was utter domination by Italy, but ultimately by that woman there, Paola Egonu. It was complete and utter domination by her entire team, but also by her.
Oh,
if they get the MVP wrong in this one, Rob,
there's literally no way.
If they get the MVP wrong, if they get the MVP wrong in this tournament, I'm not saying they got it wrong in the men's tournament. You're saying that.
I'm saying that.
I'm a little bit more neutral that. But if they get the MVP wrong in this tournament, I'm done in volleyball forever.
Paola Egonu,
I'm never coming back.
Paola Egonu had 11 points in the first set alone. 11.
Yeah.
8 kills and 3 blocks. Is that right? That's ridiculous. In one set of a gold medal match. Italy wins, by the way, 25-18, 25-20, 25-17. And
we know this from Paola Egonu.
Oh, yeah, of course we do.
We know that she shows up in big situations. She's a big game player. How many Champions League finals has she made now in a row? 5?
5 in a row.
5 in a row. How many of those has she won?
3, I think. Most of them.
Most of them, right? That's insane. That's some LeBron numbers out there. Yeah, that's like you're consistently making it back to the finals. And it doesn't matter who she plays with, right? It doesn't matter who she plays with. And for this Italian team that last year was so forgettable, right?
I don't think it was forgettable. I think it was extremely memorable for all the wrong reasons last year.
I guess you're right.
And that is why the turnaround.
Anything. Yeah. Not meddling in anything. Not meddling at Eurovolley, getting losing to the Dutch in that bronze medal match, not qualifying directly for
these
Paris.
Very Olympic Games.
And then they're able to turn it around. Julio Velasco. If there was a coach at the tournament, Rob, it has to go to Velasco.
No doubt about it.
It has to go to Velasco. And I think that when we do our end of season awards, you and I, there's Velasco is an absolute shoe-in for the top women's coach in volleyball this year.
What a performance by this entire Italian team. The turnaround is remarkable. You talked about the failures of last summer and the coaching change and how quickly they put it all together. The pieces were there, obviously. Yeah, this is one of the deepest and most talented teams and programs in all of volleyball, but they assembled those pieces into a true cohesive team way faster than anybody could have ever imagined. It started with VNL. They ran through that tournament. We did.
We fully saw that. As much as Egonu was dominant, the way that Silla played throughout was incredible.
She was great.
The way that Denesi and Farr played in the middle was outstanding. The way that Antropova off the bench, that's when you're really seeing how everyone chips in.
I mean,
fully.
Katerina Bossetti, who is not a scoring outside hitter, went 7 for 11 today. She was unstoppable. Like, we can talk about the gold medal match. I don't think there's that really much to talk about because of how dominant it was. But the accomplishment from Italy, to talk about the legacy that this sets. Remember, Italy had never made it past the Olympic quarterfinals in women's volleyball. Never. This is one of the great countries in volleyball countries, top to bottom, men's, women's, beach, whatever. One of the great volleyball countries in the history of the sport. And they had never even come close to the medal rounds until this year. And not only did they make it to the medal rounds, once single elimination play began, 9-0 in sets. They took down Tijana Bošković in Serbia. They took down Melissa
Before
Vargas
that,
in
though,
Turkey.
like they were going 9 and they were going
Right.
perfect in sets
But
all the way through.
They were, but pool play is whatever. The fact that I'm so impressed is that it's the Olympic Games. It's the Olympic elimination scenarios. You lose one match and you are done. And that moment was never too big for Italy at any point. And that's really remarkable for a team that has never done this before, and players that have never done this before. And they have made long-standing, everlasting history in the sport of volleyball with this gold medal win.
Yeah, I know that they've never done this specifically before, Rob. However, I feel that this is a bit of a younger team for Italy. I forget what the average age is on this team, but they are a bit of a younger team, and these are all athletes who have won elsewhere at other levels. So it didn't surprise me that they were able to turn it on. Also, too, when you look at how healthy this team has been down the stretch too, that was a big part to their success, especially against Turkey in the semifinals, who were a little banged up, but this team was healthy and ready to go. And you talk about that perfection throughout the playoffs and even throughout the preliminary round. The U.S. had to play a tough 5-setter against Brazil to get here, and they just seemed maybe a little bit emotionally depleted. Whereas Italy, on the other hand, you could tell that they were ready and willing to make that deep run into the tournament, and they were emotionally ready for it, and emotionally ready for this one here. They came in dialed in, locked in, and you can see that by the efficiency in their game. Like, they weren't just dumping a lot of balls to Agonu, which is what Italy tends to do sometimes, but also their blocking, especially.
Oh man,
like 11-0 is disgusting. And I mean, I would have, after Italy, I would have put the USA as the number 2 blocking team in the tournament. Right? This is a team who's known to be able to block some balls, and not being able to block Agonu, because when she's in her bag, she's in her bag, right? And she hits at a level that kind of no one else can stop. I don't know who's more unstoppable between Vargas and Agonu, but it seems there's been more times, although I'll bet we've had more opportunities. There's been more times in the past for me where Agonu just seems untouchable.
Yeah,
I think today was one of them.
I think this tournament answered that question. By the way, the medal ceremony is happening right this very moment. Unfortunately, we cannot show you that here on the YouTube channel. You'll have to find that wherever within your individual country's Olympic rights holders. But I just saw Brazil receive their bronze medals. We'll talk about them in a moment. The United States is receiving their silver medals right now, and then we will crown the champions in Italy, give them their gold medals in just a second. And I don't know if we'll be here in time to receive the official all-tournament team, but we will give you our opinions in just a little bit. Some of the other superlatives from this match, Everett, that blow me away. 11 blocks to 0 is completely ridiculous. The hitting efficiency disparity is absurd as well. 149 for the United States, 389 for Italy. That's 24% higher.
The U.S. just had to work so hard.
It felt
so hard to score.
There are some similarities. Like, sure, yesterday's gold medal match on the men's side was also a 3-0. It didn't feel nearly as suffocating as this one did. France played perfect yesterday. Poland did their best, but there was nothing they could do today. But what I do think was similar is how hard it was for the United States to get break points. There was just nothing they could do to score points on their serve. Even like you said, the United States is a good blocking team. Italy's Italy's first contact, that's in reception, in backcourt defense, and in block coverage, was unbelievable. They kept balls off the floor that just no other team really the whole tournament would have. Even like teams that are classically better defensively than Italy, just the balls that came up off the floor, it is very difficult physically and mentally to play against when you just can't buy a point from anywhere. And like one of the things we've talked about is when your team is locked in on backcourt defense like that, that is team emotional buy-in to what it is that you're doing. It is effort.
I didn't think Italy was particularly good. Not that they weren't particularly good in backcourt defense today, but the U.S. is better. Like the U.S. made 52 digs, Italy made only 41. Right? It was in Italy's like blocking ability, especially. Like it wasn't just break points, like side outs, like just side outs for the U.S. were so hard to come by.
Yeah,
they were so hard to come by, and it was a lot of like kind of like chip it off the block and recycle. I also found too that too many times the US just wasn't capitalizing on opportunities. Like they would finally get an overpass, or they would finally get a free ball sent over, and they would be passed off the net. And then there would be a bad set. And then Skinner's just trying to tip it into the block, and it's getting blocked and like getting put down. Is especially later in that third set when they were trying to make that push. There was these small little opportunities for the US that they were leaving on, but the power and the pressure right from the serve. I mean, I don't think Italy served exceptionally well in terms of serving aces, but they served as well as in they were serving aggressively, and they were making the U.S. move, and they were putting that pressure on Plummer and Skinner. It was that lineup is the perfect lineup for Italy's to poach.
Oh yeah,
in terms of serve receive. A because both of them are about average passers, but B because they're like the Italians know both of those athletes so well because they play in the Italian league.
Yep, they put a huge amount of pressure on both Plummer and Skinner. Plummer in the first set was way into the negatives in efficiency. Skinner got subbed off first, and then we made like kind of the inverse change in the second, and then we made an opposite switch, and we tried just about everything we could. I'll put up the United States in the silver medal on the
except for the one thing.
Well, we did technically in the first set we did see it. We did finally see the Plummer and Cook combination that we've been asking for all tournament long, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter today. Yeah. We being the United States, because I'm American and I love this team, and I'm despite the result of this match, I'm really proud of them and happy for this accomplishment. We did not play very well today. What we had to spend against Brazil to get here, I think definitely made a little bit of a difference, but still it was just like execution things that normally are locked in for a team like this and for a team playing at an Olympic medal caliber level just weren't happening.
No.
Setting connections weren't happening.
No.
Basic reception plays and overlaps weren't happening. Smart attacking choices, and the blocking, just none of it was happening. It wasn't really happening for us today. And I think Italy gets the credit for most of that. The suffocating pressure that Italy put on from the very first moment of that match broke the United States today. And Italy deserves all the credit. They really do.
I'm not entirely sure what the US's game plan was going in, but whatever it was, I don't think it mattered because of just the execution on the American side.
Right.
It seemed like, to be honest, it seemed like Italy brought this game up to elevation, and like the Americans just couldn't handle it. The Italians were like, "Hey, we're going to bring this up to the tip top, and you're going to have to play up here at our level, and we don't think you can." And I mean, I think something needs to be said on the American side too, the fact that they have struggled over the past few years and haven't really seen themselves making this deep of a run. And I can't remember the last time they strung together like 2 quality matches, let alone 3, in this way. I don't think the Olympic qualifying tournament last year really counts, especially with the pools and teams they had. Like they qualified for that easily. Whereas like a team like Italy is used to making those deeper tournament runs and kind of has been. So I wonder if it was just that inexperience of the past few years, or that stamina of making that deep tournament run, and just being not the physicality of it, but the mental preparedness of it.
I actually disagree with that completely. I think we were the most mentally prepared team of anybody to
Until the finals.
to perform at the Olympic Games. The difference was that Italy was just as mentally prepared, and they're just much better of a volleyball team right now. The United States won those first two bracket matches against Poland and Brazil between the years. We beat those two teams mentally. Poland did not get off the bus in that.
So what I'm saying is they didn't have the mental stamina.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
I don't think mental stamina had anything to do with it. I think it was physical. We got dominated by a superior physical volleyball team that outplayed us on the court in every conceivable way. I don't think there was anything we could have done mentally differently. There was just no way that we were beating Italy the way that they played today in the physical domination of it. And yes, the last couple of years, like since Tokyo, the American women have not performed particularly well. Bad at all three VNLs. Even that, I think it was the 22 VNL when we took first in the preliminary round and failed the medal because we got upset by Serbia's B team. For example, no medal at the World Championship. Didn't even win the Norseka Championship, which is ridiculous for the United States, to be honest. But that Olympic experience showed up at the Olympic Games, and neither you or I or Everett or a lot of other people predicted a medal for this American women's team because of the recent history and the form coming into the Olympics. So the fact that we medaled and a silver medal is a mental achievement. That is where we earned this medal. The fact that we didn't earn a gold medal was that we got beaten down physically by a team who was mentally just as good and physically way better. Way better.
I mean,
and Italy,
well, I think we can agree to disagree, because I think that kind of shows a pattern from this American team of like getting deep into a tournament and kind of falling apart. I think last year's Norseka Championships is a perfect example of that, because I do think that there was a little bit more on the table to be given from this American team in this matchup.
You think that we had more on the line
yes,
than Italy did?
They no. They not more on the line. That's not at all what I was saying. That there was more in the tank for this American team. That there's in other situations, and if you can't play this game more times, they could play it better. They could give it better.
Oh, for sure.
They could. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
There's in different situations, this American team could come up with a much better performance than what we saw today. Yeah,
I agree with that. Every time the ball was on Italy's side, they took care of it. They took care of the details, and they had the best individual player, obviously. But everybody did their job. Everyone played their role. There were a lot.
I'm sticking by it that the U.S. couldn't keep up with that level of execution.
No, exactly.
Execution is all mental. Execution is all mental. Execution is all mental, because it's not like they weren't able to jump and do these things, but passing a free ball to the setter in the third set, that's mental execution.
Setting a pipe right over Skinner's head and failing to connect to it. Yeah,
that's all mental execution for me. So like, and even when it came down to just like feeding balls into Italy's block, like
a lot of straight down stuff blocks. Especially in the middle, the one-on-ones that Denesi and Farr were getting, like reading those like book from a mile away.
They were so good this tournament.
Both middles.
Denesi and Farr were just chef's kiss, and the way they read and the way they closed block and the way they were so there. And that was such a thing about this Italian offense with Oro, is that everyone else was so efficient. It was volume to the right side, and then, hey, we're going to give it to the middle. And Farr and Denesi were so perfect. Every time they were called upon, pretty much they would put it down. You awesome. Said yourself about Miriam Silla and
best tournament I've ever seen from Miriam Silla.
Oh, consistently hitting like aggressive balls. Totally. Like, hey, like Agonu is in like a slight slump, let's just toss it out to the left side, and she's going to pound one with energy. And she's one of those players that over the years has been kind of questioned if she was going to belong on this national team, and like she fully established herself as one of the best here. And I mean,
here's the thing too, Ever. You said earlier that Italy came into this match more healthy. They came into this match more healthy with what they had. But remember, pre-tournament, they lost 2 Olympic caliber outside hitters, one of which in Alice De Gradi was an ACL tear right before the Olympic Games. And then Elena Pietrini much earlier in the summer. Can you imagine how much better they would have been with those 2 players? It's crazy.
If you're starting like Silla and Pietrini and you have De Gradi coming off the bench or the other way around, that's disgusting.
It's absurd.
That is filthy. So yeah, you're completely right. I honestly I have completely forgotten about that fact since our preview show.
It's so Italy, by the way, just received their Olympic gold medals. The celebrations are on. I mean, the match started just over 2 hours ago, and the medals are already in hand. That gold medal match was 1 hour and 13 minutes long.
And that's what I'm saying is that like yesterday when it came to France's win, they were just perfect because like Poland was fighting back and pushing back, and I'm not saying that the Americans didn't push back, but it wasn't in the same way because Italy was just so damn dominant in this. But Rob, for me, it's really kind of pretty special to be watching these Italian women win their first medal, because I know that you're like me, that you got into watching women's volleyball way more when we started watching the Lega Volley Feminile.
100%.
And when we started watching that level of professional women's volleyball, I can speak for myself, and I think for you as well, that we really started getting invested way more. So our level of knowledge of these Italian women is really high. So having watched these women over the past number of years now, 4 or 5 in the Lega Volley Femminile, is really special to watch them tie all this together.
Yeah, and if you are just now getting into Italian women's volleyball, fortunately for you, Volleyball World TV has the entire Lega Volley Femminile. Like bringing that league, both the men's and the women's Italian leagues, to a global audience has been a huge value add for all of world volleyball, and now we get to see it on a stage like this. I mean, Monica De Gennaro in that photo there doing the most Italian pose possible. Awesome. Chef's kiss. She deserves this Olympic gold medal tremendously. She's got to be the oldest player on the roster, at least I would assume. I thought Alessia Oro had an unreal tournament. The double sub in Combi and Antropova, unbelievably valuable.
Antropova really needs to be given a shout out, because
absolutely
being in her position is a tough position to be, right? Any other team in the world other than Turkey, she starts for.
Maybe right? Serbia, but
maybe Serbia. Yeah, Serbia. So, any other team in the world, Turkey, Serbia, Sweden, she starts for.
Yeah,
no. For Sweden, they would figure it out. Like they would be like, if they had Antropova and a Hawk, they'd be like, okay, we're gonna figure something out here.
They would figure it out.
But her ability to come in and consistently produce
in that role,
and to be celebrated the way that she was. Once again, it goes back to it goes back to who's their coach again? Velasco.
Julio Velasco.
It's been, sorry guys, it's been 16 days of this. we're going a little loopy.
Yeah, we are.
Velasco, like keeping that team together, but also her buying into that role. You know, it's super easy in that situation to be like, look at everything I'm doing for this team, coming in off the bench, and I think that's massive. Having that buy-in is so important for an Olympic Games like this, and they got it. And up and down, up and down this roster, they really just showed up, and it was really special to see.
Yep, they deserve it. They were the best team on planet Earth this whole calendar year. And Everett, what an interesting note that both the teams that won the Volleyball Nations League coming into the Olympic Games both won Olympic gold. I hope that maybe shifts some priorities of some federations around the world. Maybe punting VNL before the Olympics is not the best idea. Maybe sending your entire bench, Serbia, is not the best idea heading into the Olympic Games. Maybe it's a good idea to take legitimate competition chances, play your Olympic starters, and try and win the thing. Maybe that just might help you win Olympic gold. 2 for 2 this summer.
Yeah, That I think this year has been really the indication, and I think even when you look back to 2021, didn't the US win
Yeah, the Rimini VNL. Yes, we did.
Rimini VNL? Like, there is now a pattern that the teams who play VNL and the teams who get ready and play through the finals do better at the Olympics. Um, and I know for me that's a bit of a conflicting fact because I'm someone who believes in rest and believes in getting and getting ready. And there's only one player who was really able to do that, and I think that was Gregor Grosjean, right? But the rest of his team played VNL, and the rest of his team was battle tested throughout that time. But yeah, like I think it was very indicative. Like two teams who went all in for VNL as much as they could, right? Like Italy had their team for the later weeks. I have no problem you spending sending a younger team in
I agree.
week one, you know, especially if you're going to run the team for throughout the rest of the weeks. Just don't be like the American men and completely miss out on the playoffs after that.
Yeah, we ended up doing okay.
Yeah, you guys did it, but once again, you guys didn't try to punt it.
No,
You worked through the problems that you needed to have in VNL with that roster. And that's one of the things that you don't get if you just show up to an Olympic Games with a roster that hasn't played together
right.
with
I
each
mean,
other so far.
the Serbian women are the best example of that, in my
Best
opinion. They
example, 100%.
really did not get even close to what they needed to get out of VNL to perform well at the Olympic Games, and they
Yeah.
got kind of stomped by this very Italian team in the Olympic quarterfinals. So, yeah, to wrap it up for Italy, again, huge congratulations. They were the best team all summer. They were the best team this Olympic Games. The history books will shine bright upon their achievement in Olympic gold, and they have nothing but wide open road in front of them as far as a volleyball country. I mean, they still have arguably the best league in the world. They're going to return a lot of these players for LA in 2028. Like, Italian women's volleyball is not going anywhere even after this accomplishment. So
No.
congratulations to them. And I'll also one more time congratulate the United States women that after a quad that was not good results wise, we
No.
put it together at the Olympic Games and we made a pretty awesome run. And we got beat by a substantially better team today, but an Olympic silver medal is an incredible achievement. I'm pretty sure it's our 5th Olympic medal in a row in women's volleyball. Silver, gold, silver in Rio. No, sorry, bronze in Rio, silver in London, silver in Beijing, if I'm not mistaken. So 5 medals in a row is insane. Also, only one country, one Olympic medal is in men's and women's volleyball. And it's the one who invented the sport from the beginning. So I feel good about that. Last but not least, for acknowledging medalists is, and we'll talk about the match as well, is big congratulations to Brazil for winning Olympic bronze. I was really concerned about Brazil that they were going to repeat what happened in VNL after they went 12-0 in the preliminary round and then failed to medal after a heartbreaker in the semifinals. I was really worried that we might see the same thing, but Gabi Guimarães would not allow
No.
that to happen. Not
No.
a chance was she letting her team walk away without a medal. She was unbelievable in the 3-1 win over Turkey.
22 for 39 with only 2 errors.
Ridiculous. What a bounce back.
That is just absolutely massive by Gabi. And you know what? In the battle of the superstars, too, like one of them shone and one of them did not. As Melissa Vargas, not only did she not score as much as Gabi, going 22, or wait, those are Gabi's numbers. Not only did she only had 26 points versus Gabi's 28, had 22 for 57 with 16 errors.
I've never even seen a number like 16 errors.
From Melissa Vargas. But to me, that just comes down to how injured and broken and out of, like, not only injured and broken was Turkey, but how terrible Ebra Kerkut has been throughout this tournament.
Bad tournament.
Bad tournament from her. And to me, it's sad. I really was really hopeful for this Turkish team with how they played last year. In like throughout, whether it was VNL and Eurovolley, and they did not show up with the same team this year, but different, like completely different. This Brazilian team has been fantastic and a treat to watch. And part of me does wonder what they would have brought to the table in the finals, right? The US won it. The US won it fair and square, and they were the better team in the semifinals, no doubt about it. But part of me thinks that this Brazilian team might have brought a bit of a different attitude and flair to go up against Paolo Agono. I'm not entirely
Very,
sure if,
very possibly,
yeah,
but we will never know.
But we will never know because the U.S. was better in the semifinals. No doubt about it. But
I mean, Gabi to outplay Melissa Vargas straight up like that was really something. And like I thought after Turkey let that second set slip away and lost it, I think 27-25, I thought we might be in for a pretty painful 3-0, kind of like we saw in the gold medal match. Turkey deserves a lot of credit for fighting back because they were a broken, beaten down team physically. I mean, Zara Güneş didn't even play in the bronze match, as we were wondering how she was going to handle that. We were just missing so much of the firepower that Turkey was used to. And then even when Turkey was, I mean, they were up, what was it, 7-4 in the fourth? Like I thought we might have a match on our hands until Brazil went on the most suffocating 10-1 run you might ever see. And it was over. And it ended very poetically on a Thaisa Daher block in what will be her last match representing her country. Thaisa had 17 with 7 blocks, 8 kills, 7 blocks, 2 aces to end her national team career. And that was a poetic way to end it. So congratulations to her and for all of Brazil, because they've been a treat to watch all summer. And it would have been really difficult for them if they had taken home no hardware at all after being so great for 99% of the year.
Wait, on the Turkish side of the net, I thought that Derya, how can you help me with this?
Derya Cebicioglu. I thought she was really good.
Really good. She was 6 for 10 in that third set.
Was Vargas stepping into she stepped into a black hole at outside hitter, and they needed something.
I think they maybe didn't give her enough play. I definitely understand. It's that tight line. Like, what are you trying to do between get Karakurt going or work with someone who is actually going to get the job done? And unfortunately, it just wasn't able to be done for Turkey in this one. And a little bit of a mismanaged roster, you might have to say too, and a mismanaged the whole summer. I think that you and I were both in agreement that Daniele Santarelli was the hands down number one undisputed best coach in volleyball. Women, men, indoor, beach didn't matter, and this summer has been a bit of a letdown.
He and the whole Turkish Federation will learn a lot from the adversity of this year and how to better manage that if something like all these physical issues and the injuries and the calendar being what it was, obviously hindsight is 2020, but even at the time the Turkish fan base was not pleased with the way that everything was being managed, and it resulted with a great team coming away with no medal at the Olympic Games. But Turkey will be back again. Tremendous domestic league, the second best in the world at least, and incredible top end talent, and they have 4 years to architect and build another gold medal run, probably with more time with both Daniele Santarelli and Melissa Vargas.
I'm excited for that. I really am. Watching the growth of Turkish women's volleyball in particular over the past number of years has been a lot of fun.
It's been a treat. They've been incredibly important to the sport globally.
Massive. And I really hope that the quote unquote failure, which they will view as a failure, which is unfortunate because you made it to the top 4 of an Olympic Games when you've really only been relevant in the sport for a handful of years. I think that's a massive accomplishment. Definitely. But I do hope that this kind of fuels them even more to continue building that and continue to setting into those systems.
4th is the toughest place to finish.
4th is the toughest place to finish, and hopefully it hurts the most, so they just keep shoveling money into our wonderful sport and keep producing some fantastic athletes.
Hope so too,
and some pretty good fans. You guys are a little annoying sometimes, but you're also very passionate, and we love you for
it. Passionate fans in volleyball are a good thing. So we got people in the chat asking about the dream team, Everett. I just refreshed the official Olympic reports, and we don't have it yet from the IOC. Well, but we have our opinions.
We have our opinions,
and we're going to give them to you.
We're going to give you our own dream team. And once again, this is in no way endorsed by Volleyball World. They know we're doing it now because we did it yesterday. But nothing came down to say that we weren't allowed, so we're going to do it again.
We're going to do it again, and of course, this is going to be dominated by Italian players because they won Olympic gold and they were the best team by far. And I think starting at the setter position, we got to give the spot to Alessia Oro. I can't think of another setter that deserves it more than her. She ran the best offense on the best team, and she gave the ball to Egonu when necessary, obviously, but she kept the rest of the court involved and threatening. And I thought her backcourt defense was tremendous. She dug so
Tremendous.
many balls.
Just the way that she led this team, and leading can come in so many different ways. I felt that like she was just a conduit for the team's energy to run through. And especially defensively. Like when you bring up those defensive numbers, I think those are so important, especially for a highly powered offensive team. Like Italy, and to have someone kind of put it on the line consistently.
Yeah, I wish we had more detailed stats about like the ability to turn.
Wouldn't it be
digs
nice?
Yeah, how about that? The ability to turn digs into points.
Yeah, transitions.
Yeah, because like you said,
ball side out versus like
breakpoint percentage, all this stuff. We'll get there. Don't worry, we'll help fix that problem. But yeah, like a team like Italy, who has arguably the best scorer of all time, all you need is a dig, and a lot more so than a lot of other teams. A dig for Italy can produce a breakpoint very quickly when you have Egonu on the right side. So and yeah, Oro's defensive energy was contagious for sure. And I like the way that you said the conduit. She was the conduit for some of that energy and some of those great vibes and mental strength that Italy had. So congratulations to her. And I'll skip straight to the libero position because I want to spend some time recognizing Monica De Gennaro and her achievement and her insane career. She's been so good. How old is she? She is 37. I mean, if there's any position where it's possible to play till age 41, it might be at the libero spot, and I don't want to see her go away. But if this does happen to be it for her, what a way to go out. Monica De Gennaro is awesome. Her club success, her national team success, and
if you look her up on Google, if you do a Google search, it'll like a little gold medal will pop up.
Really? That was quick.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Type in Monica De Gennaro to Google, and it says like Monica De Gennaro with like a little gold medal.
Olympic gold medalist.
Olympic gold medalist, which is crazy to say. How crazy is it, Rob, that the Italian women, their first ever Olympic medal is gold. The Italian men they have 6 medals still no gold.
Maybe whatever the Italian women learn, they need to pass on to the men. That's for sure. Congratulations to Monica De Gennaro. She was awesome. How about outside hitters? I mean, one woman we already talked about who's not Italian, who must be named, is Gabi Guimarães. There is no way that a dream team in this Olympics is complete without her, especially that performance in the bronze medal match. Gabi is, in my opinion, the best all-around player on planet Earth.
She's the best volleyball player.
I think she's the best all-around volleyball player
on planet Earth. I will 100% endorse that. She doesn't have the dominance of like of any of the outs or opposites, but her ability to pass, her ability to play defense, her ability to hit his in system, out of system, her pipe ball play is. Everything is just exquisite. Her passion.
She's 1.80 meters. That's crazy. All these other players, like she outscored Melissa Vargas straight up, and Melissa Vargas is 1.94 meters and one of the greatest athletes on planet Earth. And Gabi is just a warrior. The American broadcasters were calling her the Honey Badger, and I absolutely love it. I think that's great.
The Honey Badger, okay.
Yeah, I'm into it. We might have to coin that one. We're trying to come up with some nicknames for some players. We got the Unicorn. We got a couple. I think the Honey Badger might need to get into that mix. Congratulations to Gabi. And then the other outside hitter that we picked was Miriam Silla. Dude, she had the best tournament I personally have ever seen her play.
Consistently good.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
Consistently good. When you look at maybe the other teams in the top 4, because you have like. The dream team is the top 4, unless you have an outstanding performance of someone in the quarter. Like it, the dream team is top 4. Consistently, she was the most consistent and dominant of the left sides, other than Gabi, of course. I think Miriam Silla, and I mean we've seen her kind of be up and down over the past number of years, especially in the club game, and yeah, her with the way that she came in and consistently performed for me was on both sides of the ball too,
Yep,
offensively and defensively and serve receive. She is arguably like the heart and soul of this team.
I agree with
Like
that.
she is the passion center of this team. And once again, like that's why I think this Italian team works so well, is that different people provide different things and everyone understands and is valued for their
Yeah.
role within that.
Yep, that comes down to great coaching, and Julio Velasco gets a lot of credit there. And it takes a lot too when you're an outside hitter like Miriam Silla, and you know that you're going to be the target in reception for the duration of an Olympic Games. To hang in the way she did and to produce on both sides of the ball is pretty awesome. Three left here on our personal dream team. The middle blockers, one has to be Anna Denesi. I think it was a kind of a toss
Has
up
to
between her and
be.
Sarah Farr, but Denesi did produce a little bit more. She scored more points on the tournament.
And
She
got
was
way more blocks. Denise had
yeah
20 blocks.
20.
Farr had 6.
Yeah, 20 is, and when the position is called middle blocker, I think that
Yeah.
is a pretty clear delineator there. And her first summer as the captain of Italy results in an Olympic gold. So that's insane. And speaking of great middle blockers, Chako Bogu of the United States, as far as American players, I thought she was a great pick because she had 21, second on the tournament in blocking with 21.
Yeah, no, Chakaboga was fantastic. I mean, 8 against Serbia in
Sick.
that in that opening match there, Rob, was or sorry, in their second match was unbelievable. But none today, which is the only match that she wasn't able to get a block in. Unfortunately, but the entire American team
Yeah,
wasn't
none for the whole
able to
team.
get a block. But no, I think Chaka, or Chi as we like to call her, was unreal, consistently unreal, and a game changer for the USA. Also, shout out to Haley Washington too.
Yeah.
I love watching her play, and I thought she was fantastic throughout the tournament.
Last but not least, the best opposite and the hands down MVP of the tournament. There is no debate about this whatsoever. If it is chosen to be anybody else, I think Everett and I will both quit volleyball forever. Paola Egonu.
That's not a threat, by the way. Like, I'm done.
Yeah, there's no possible way the MVP can go to anybody else. Paola Egonu, in her third Olympic Games, has finally reached the top of the mountain. She has cemented herself as one of the greatest players in the history of the sport. 22 points in the gold medal match and 11 in the first set alone. 110 points on the tournament, and just the way that she did it. We were talking about the semifinals, Everett, and the way that she looked so casual in her dominance over Turkey in that semifinal was crazy. She separated herself from a group of other elite athletes and players at her position, and she is the hands down, no question MVP of the 2024 Olympic Games. It can't be anybody else.
No doubt about it. I really think, Rob, that she's learned over the years that she needs to keep her emotions flat and in check, because we've seen her get emotional at other times. And to me, just her ability to stay even keeled is what really allows her to perform at this level. And she is one of the most dominant athletes on the planet. Like, not just
Straight
in
up.
volleyball, not just men and women, like not just in the women. Like, there is so few athletes on this planet who are so head over heels better than everyone else around them. Now, once again, I do think a lot of that credit goes to the rest of the team around her, right? Because like we can see what can happen to an athlete like Melissa Vargas when, the rest of that, everything else is crumbling around her. But Agonu has done this so consistently on the club level with the national teams, everything that, she's won a European championship back in 2021. She's won an Olympic Games.
The
The
club
like
success is absurd.
the club success is absurd.
It's
Let's not even
ridiculous.
go into how many Champions League finals that she's been into, and how many MVPs, and how many, she was a centerpiece in the winningest team in all time in women's volleyball when Canigliano went on that, what was it, 80 something game,
Yeah, ridiculous.
unbeaten streak. So she is, honestly, at this point, Rob, I'm willing to put her on the top of the pantheon of women's volleyball players. Just put her right up there as arguably the greatest player. Like what? Like it's like her and Maria Luis, like her and the Cuban.
I don't really know who else has a case.
No.
Mireia Luis has 3 Olympic gold medals, so that certainly helps. But like what Paula Egonu has done, and by the way, she's 25.
Exactly. She could do this twice more very easily. Like that is, give us 8 years. She's only 33. She go to 3 more Olympics.
Unbelievable. It's really remarkable what she's done and what she now has to show for it. So
I'm not paying attention to the chat right now.
No. Nope. We don't need to worry about any of them. Everett, I think that's it. I think that's the Olympic Games. I think that's it for our coverage of it. It's the greatest volleyball tournament that we ever see. This particular one was an all-time great on both the men's and the women's sides.
It was amazing.
Just awesome. Credit to everybody involved, the IOC, the event hosts in Paris, the crowds for every match. Oh, amazing.
I am so happy that we, after watching Tokyo, where there was nothing, the showing that our sport has given over the course of this Olympic Games was A+. That was 100%. I think that when you saw, and this goes for beach as well too, with the most iconic stadium, but whenever people, and this is like what people like plebs were messaging me, non-volleyball people messaging me being like, yo, indoor volleyball looks awesome.
Dude, it looks sick.
The atmosphere looks fantastic. The play is amazing. My friends were blown away by it. I actually have some friends who've been listening to our shows because they're like, yeah, I want to get into it. So to shout out to you guys. But this was peak volleyball in so many different ways, and I'm super glad that we watched every single second of it.
Me too. And happy that we got to be a part of it in some small way, and that all of you have been along for the ride. So thanks for following along with our coverage, both here on Volleyball World and elsewhere. Hopefully you'll be seeing some more of us as we take a month or two off. This will be a weird period to not have any actual volleyball going on to talk about, but the club season will start real soon. You yourself will be in Hamburg for beach volleyball in like 2 weeks. So there's a lot more coming, and we hope that you all have enjoyed the Olympic Games and some of the coverage that we've brought to it. So thanks all very much for watching. Congratulations again to all 3 medalists. Everett, any more to sign off for the people?
No, if you want to find us, you can find us.
Oh yeah.
Elsewhere on the internet. I'm Rob. No, I'm not Rob.
You don't want to be me, Everett, especially not right now.
Yeah. I mean, hey.
We love you all.
You just won an Olympic silver medal and Olympic bronze.
Two Olympic medals.
Yeah, exactly. So we just have an Olympic silver on the beach, which is historic in enough. Once again, anyone trying to bring me down from us losing in the beach volleyball finals is like, that's our first ever Olympic medal for the women ever. So great job, Canada.
Good job to everyone. Thanks all very much, and we will see you at least in LA 2028, if not much sooner.